Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys? It is Wednesday. It is 12 noon, and I am here. I am Deborah Porter. I'm with Moms Mentoring Circle, where we provide support and strategies for at-home moms for them to help organize their homes, their lives, their schedules, their children. Really, the purpose of that is so they can then go forward and really go after their own goals, dreams, and desires. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. You know me, I don't sit around waiting for people to join and all that kind of stuff. We're just going to go ahead and get started. Let me make sure things are working properly. I don't see it popping up, but I am going to assume that we are live and that folks are able to join in and hear me and see me. All right, so let me turn the volume just a bit. I hope everybody's having a great Wednesday and a great kind of pare down to what has been a pretty amazing summer. I hope that your summer was really incredible and fantastic and all that good stuff. So here's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about morning routines that work. Okay, school is right here. It's not even across the street or we're here. We're right here. School is right here. So we're going to talk about morning routines that work. But before I do that, I really want to reach out to anybody that is watching either live or in the replay from either Texas or Ohio, from the El Paso area or Dayton area, that our hearts are crushed because of what you are enduring right now. And although we will continue to pray, although you will continue to be in our hearts and in our minds, and as we think of you, we will lift you up. In the midst of that, we have to remember that there's more that can be done, and we'll continue to do that as well. So we're thinking about you guys. So if you missed tax-free back-to-school shopping, which in Virginia, where I live, was this past weekend, all is not lost if you've missed that. And the reason that all is not lost is because, well, for me, living in Virginia, this is kind of the DMV area, Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. And so Maryland's tax-free shopping is the 11th of August, the 11th through the 16th, I think. So it's not even a weekend. It's like a week long, like a Monday through Friday or maybe a Sunday through Thursday or something like that. So I would say to you, if you are not near the DMV area, but you are kind of close to another bordering state, see when their tax-free shopping is, if you missed yours, or if you still have another vacation or family trip planned to another state, see if maybe you'll be there during their tax-free shopping weekend. If you're really into it, right? If you really like, oh my God, I missed it. I got to find, if you're really into it and you really need it and really want it, try that. If not, trust and believe there are still deals and back to school shopping sales and all of that going on. I've known people that literally will shop 4 or 5 different stores to be able to get the best deal. For me, I didn't have that kind of time. So it was really about saving the most money in 1, maybe 2 locations. But I was not one to hop around to different stores. You absolutely can do that, especially if most of those or all of those stores are in one shopping center, but you really can get great deals. But I'm not driving across town to save 5 cents on a folder if I'm already in a store right now that has folders. I'm not doing that, but you can, obviously. So, all right, so if you're still on for tax-free shopping, hunt it down. And if not, if you can't find one close to you, then just look for the best deals you can find. So today we're talking about morning routines that work. And there are really 3 questions that I want you to ask yourself as you're thinking about your morning routine with your children, as you're thinking about having things go smoother this particular school year, maybe than last school year, as you're going into the fall, like, okay, we're doing this different this time. There are 3 questions I want you to think about. Do I have an actual routine? Do I have a routine? Are we doing too much in the morning? So do I have a routine? Are we doing too much? And am I fully awake before the kids get up? Those are 3 important questions to ask as you're putting together your morning routine that will work and that is going to be a success. So with those 3 questions, I've got 5 points, morning routines that work. I'm gonna get right to it. Then I got some errands to run. I'm sure you do too. So let's just get right to it. The first point is the best morning routine actually starts the night before. The best morning routine starts the night before, and it starts the night before. And this really is for everybody, not just the kids. Moms, this works for us. This works for dads. It really does help to keep everybody organized and ready to start the day without the frazzle and without the panic, right? So a couple of points under this first point of starting the night before. This is when you really can have the kids make their lunch, pack up their lunches, have them right in the fridge. If they need to be refrigerated, if they don't need to be refrigerated, they can literally put them in their backpack. But pack up the lunches, choose their outfits the night before. This is really crucial, especially if you have like a teenager, when now fashion is really, really important. And for some, it really starts even younger. I mean, I've known 5 and 6 year olds to be adamant about what they're going to put on. If it's not, an outfit, at least 2 outfits, no more than 2 outfits. So you have, if it rains, you've got this for the rainy day outfit, and you've got this if it's a sunny day. So that just cuts down on the room being a mess, clothes being everywhere, indecisiveness. But before you even get to that point of picking out the outfits, I talked about this last week. This was in the back to school segment. Listen, you've got to get into those closets and clear and clean out those closets and organize them. Because if you don't, the idea of picking an outfit becomes challenging. This is for your children and for yourself. So what we're talking about is getting rid of anything you don't like, don't wear, is torn, is not your style anymore, is not your, go-to, not your thing anymore. You haven't worn it in a year. Your children can't fit some of that stuff that's in those closets. You've got to get that stuff out so that everything that's in there, when they open the closet door, when you open your closet door, everything in there is something I'm going to wear. So it's an easier thing to do. So that was last week. But today we're talking about starting the night before. The best morning routines that work really start the night before. Pack the lunches. Pull out the outfits. Pack up the backpack. So don't leave homework out. Even if they were up late doing homework, don't leave it just sitting out and we'll gather it in the morning. Pack up the backpack the night before, sit it by the door. Some people go as far as putting it in the car if they drive their kids to school. I wouldn't do that. We did that once, and what happened was at the last minute there was a carpool change. So it ended up that the kids were heading to school, but the backpacks were still in my car. So I pack them all up, sit them by the door, whether they're taking a bus or whether they're riding with carpool, they can grab it on their way out. The other thing that some people do, I never did this, I must admit, but a pre-prepared breakfast. It's a thing, and it might be a thing that you're into. I wasn't really into it, but there are recipes and things online, and I can send you the link. If you want the link, just, let me know, send me your email address or put it here, send it to me in a message. But I was not into it. But you can actually have pre-prepared breakfasts already ready for your children. Another point under starting the night before. Again, we're talking about morning routines that work. And if you're starting the night before, it's going to make it a lot smoother. So you've packed the lunches, they've packed the lunches, they've chosen their outfits, they've packed up their backpack, and you're now thinking about this pre-prepared breakfast. The other thing is a to-do list. Hey, Kathy. How are you, Kathy Williams? I hope all is well. I hope you're having a great day. We're talking about morning routines that work. And this first point was starting the night before. The best morning routines actually start the night before. And so you're packing lunches, choosing outfits, packing up the backpack, the pre-prepared breakfast is an option, and then the to-do list. And the to-do list, really, this is what I've always done. Before I go to bed, literally right before I go to bed, I have a pen and paper by my bed, and I'm writing down the things that I need to get done the next day. For me, this was really a tool that was introduced because I was having a hard time falling asleep, because I've got this stuff going through my brain about what I need to do tomorrow. And having it right by my bed so that even if one other thing pops up as I'm trying to fall asleep, I can write it down very quickly. So once I get it from my brain to that paper, for me, I'm able to sleep. Everything settles down, my brain quiets down, and I'm able to sleep. So keep a pen and paper by your bed. Keep that to-do list for the next day. It may help you sleep better. It will definitely help you be more organized the next day. It will help you do those things that you may forget. So for mom, that's for you. So that's all in point number 1 of the best morning routine starting the night before. The second point is getting enough sleep. Again, this is for everybody. This isn't just for the kids. Everybody needs to get enough sleep. And you really can only do this to the best of your ability. This is not a perfect science, but there are 3 things that I will tell you that will help with getting enough sleep. And one is having a bedtime, everybody having an actual bedtime. And the other thing, well, 2 points. The other thing is not having any TVs or devices in the bedrooms. No computers, no laptops, no phones, no gaming systems. I know that may sound like, dinosaur days, but I'm really serious. If you keep your kids' bedrooms for sleep only, their ability to get in there and settle down and go to sleep is a lot quicker and with a lot less fuss. So have those other things kept somewhere else, televisions, laptops. When they're done with homework, that laptop needs to be in a backpack or somewhere else. Telephones, obviously not in a bedroom. TVs, none of my kids grew up with TVs in the bedroom, and they thought we were the meanest parents ever, right? All of my friends have TVs in their room. All of my friends, and y'all know the response to that. You ain't growing up over there, you're growing up over here. And that's what we do here. So starting the night before, getting enough sleep. The third point is you getting up before the kids. Mom, this is huge. And I don't mean just hitting your clock, getting up, and then going to wake them up. I mean, you need to be fully up, awake, dressed. I would get up at least 30 to 45 minutes before my kids throughout their childhood. And the reason for that was because I needed a minute. I needed a minute to enjoy the peace and quiet. Some of you coffee drinkers, I'm not a coffee drinker. I needed a minute for my own personal devotion, for my own quiet time, to hear my own thoughts, to look at my own to-do list, add to it, take from it. But I'm telling you, the day goes a lot better, or the morning goes a lot smoother, if everybody is not jumping up out of the bed at the same time. And let me also say that children as early as 7 can really have an alarm clock in their room and start that process of self-sufficiency themselves. So yes, you're listening out to make sure you hear them stirring after the clock goes off and they're just not hitting it off. But it's important for them as young as possible. That's not too young. Even 3-year-old's not going to be able to do that. But by the age of 7, definitely by the age of 8, having their own routine in place, their own alarm clock, being responsible for getting up and starting that process is very important. And it will help in those later years. I'm telling you, you may have to fuss a little bit on the front end, but in those later years, it really becomes second nature. So getting up before the kids are up is point number 3. Number 4 is having a morning routine chart. I had this for all of my kids for as long as they needed it. At some point, they didn't need it any longer. But I mean, a morning routine, brush your teeth, yes, sometimes you have to make sure they're brushing their teeth, washing their face, putting on lotion, getting dressed. Kathy says the brain needs 1 hour without LED to rest, screens off. There you go. That's from a healthcare professional. So an hour before bedtime, silencing all of that stuff. So you definitely don't want those things in the bedrooms. That's gonna impact them and you, actually, Mom. That's gonna impact you as well. So now we're talking about point number 4, the morning routine chart. I had morning routine chart in all of their rooms for as long as they needed it. And the chart included things like brush your teeth, wash your face, lotion, get dressed, come downstairs and eat. So once all these things are done, then you come downstairs and eat. Don't run downstairs because you're starving and you've not done all these other things. The other thing that I always put on each of their bathroom mirrors while they're brushing their teeth were their affirmations and confessions for the day. I'm going to be studious today. I will be alert. I will be attentive to my teacher. I will be a leader and not a follower. I will, that kind of stuff that I wanted in them, and I wanted them confessing over their day to help be intentional about the day they were going to have. I don't want them and didn't want them to just be victims to whatever kind of haphazard day they were going to have. Yes, Kathy, on their mirror, taped on their mirror. I basically had it on a card like this that I laminated, and just put it right on there. So even when I was cleaning or whatever, when they were cleaning, it didn't get messed up. But it just had their intentions for the day. And I think it was a paragraph long, maybe 5-6 sentences at the most, or bullet points. But it was something that I wanted before them. I would encourage them while you're brushing your teeth, say it to yourself, read it to yourself, because you don't just want them to rush out the door into whatever is out there. You really want them to be able to set some intentions for the day. I'm going to be a good listener today. Today, I'm going to listen to my teacher and I'm going to do what's expected. I'm not going to forget my homework today. Today, I have my homework. My homework is done. My homework is neat, and my homework is correct, and my homework is right. Yeah, it's a great ad, Kathy. And when we moved from our home about 4 years ago, those were still on the mirror. And, my kids had already left for college. So I'm sure it just became, like furniture, but they were still there on the mirror. So today we're talking about morning routines that work. The first point was starting the night before can help ensure a successful morning routine. The second point was getting enough sleep. The third point is getting up before the kids, like fully up, dressed, so that you've had your moment and you've had some time for some self-care to kind of pour into yourself. Fourth point was morning routine chart. And this is kind of the chart of what they need to do. And then in addition to that, I had my own confession. I still have on my mirror right now my affirmations and confessions over myself for today. I don't know that you ever outgrow that. I think there's always it's always appropriate to be intentional about the day that you're going to walk into. It's always important to set those intentions, to set those affirmations, to make those confessions over what you're going to do. And then much of what my children were confessing were the things I was praying over them as they were, were heading out to school, or once they were even there. I would use the time that I changed sheets to really focus in and pray for that child. So as I was in that child's room changing sheets on that bed that day, I'm focusing on that child for those moments. And so setting some of these things in motion really help you to be able to determine, to set up your own systems in your house and how that kind of works. And it begins to be second nature as you set up these systems in your home. It begins to be second nature. And everybody, even the ones that aren't particularly on board, even the ones that kind of balk about it at first, eventually fall in line. The other thing that this morning routine chart does, this is great for the child that is distracted by air or anything. Like, who has one of those children that is literally distracted by anything? So this chart keeps that child really on task about, okay, this is what we're doing right now. This is where we are. Is it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday? Okay, this is what needs to be done right now. So it really helps in those areas as well. Now, I know that some of these things, depending on the age of your child, if your child's very young, sometimes getting dressed, brushing their teeth, it's going to take them longer. If they're younger, if they're 5, 6, maybe even 7, it may take them longer. And if you rush in and help them, it's going to be done quick, fast, and in a hurry. I would ask you to not do that. I would ask you to have enough time in the morning to allow them to learn these skills themselves. And I would ask you to make sure that they're getting up in time enough to do that, because they're learned skills. They've got to learn it. And if we rush in every time that they seem to struggle a little bit through something, it can delay their ability to develop that skill for themselves. So yeah, it may take them a little longer to find the arms in the shirt and put it on, and, zip and snap the pants and tie the shoes, or, for a while we used Velcro shoes. Yep, we did that. But allow the child to develop that on their own. Self-sufficiency is a great gift, and it's a great gift to a parent that a child can get up and do these things on their own. And let me see, I don't want to miss a point. Have your own routine chart as well, Mom. This is kind of your to-do list that I spoke about earlier. Because here's the thing, if we're expecting our children to follow this routine and to have this great morning routine that's successful, that's getting them out the door, but in the meantime, where they have this routine and they're grabbing their lunch, got their backpack, everything's all packed, and we're running around like crazy people. Oh my God, where's my phone? Oh my God, where's my briefcase? Oh my gosh, I can't find that permission slip you gave me last night, right? If we're doing that, then will they buy into what we're telling them to do, or will they do what they see? We know the answer to that. So we're going to talk probably next week more about the permission slips and the just mountains of papers that are going to be coming your way. And I'm sure some of this they do electronically now, but I know that there are still is a great deal of paperwork that kind of is coming home to parents. So we'll talk a little bit about that in the coming weeks. The fifth point is remain calm. If you've been able to get up before your children and be fully awake, had your coffee, had your time, really been able to kind of set some intentions for the day, remain calm. I had a friend who, whenever she seemed to be getting irritated or, exacerbated about something, instead of her voice getting louder, she would begin to whisper. She would just immediately start whispering. And I saw her do it a couple of times with her kids. And I'm like, what is up with that? What are you doing? And she was like, that's a reminder to me that I need to calm it down. And so I never did that. I really was a kind of a yeller. But that was a trick that worked, because as her voice got lower, the kids got calmer. Like, I didn't know if they were thinking, ooh, what is getting ready to happen? But whatever it was, her voice getting lower calmed their behavior. Kathy says, great stuff. I read my vision statement each day. I will now post it on my mirror. Go, girl. Yep. Because I intend to read mine every day as well. But sometimes it's not in front of me. I need it in front of me. I'm visual like that. So for me, I need it in front of me. And it makes it more automatic. So that's awesome. So remain calm is point number 5. So I'm just going to go through them one more time very quickly. These are 5 points for morning routines that work. Start the night before. The best morning routines start before bedtime. Get enough sleep. That means no TV, no devices in the rooms. My friend Kathy, who's a healthcare professional, says an hour before bedtime, they need to be off. There needs to be a bedtime. Have a bedtime, no TV, no devices in the bedroom. Point number 3 was get up before the kids. I suggest at least 30 to 45 minutes. Point number 4 is have a morning routine chart that includes affirmations, intentions, and confessions for your child to speak over their own day and for you as well. And then point number 5 is remain calm. And if you need kind of a reminder about remaining calm, begin to talk in a whisper, because that's going to remind you to stay calm. And I think it will have an impact on your child's behavior in that moment as well. So these are very general suggestions, strategies, and support for a morning routine. Now, we all have specific needs, though. Whether you may have a special needs child that needs to be, prepared and taken to their day. You may have an early practice. I've noticed that some of the schools now have the kids coming in as early as like 6 o'clock for practice, whether it's on instruments or running track or volleyball or whatever. So sometimes there's these early morning events that are happening. Whether you, mom, are employed outside of your home or in your home or not at all, there are specific needs that we each have. So I know that this morning routine list that I gave you today, these 5 points will help you. But I also know that for some, this is not enough. It's not specific enough for what you need. It doesn't speak to the particular points that you need to address. And so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this link up here as I finish up. But let's talk about that. Let's me and you get on the phone for 30 minutes. Let's talk about what your family situation is. Let's talk about the specifics in your house that this morning routine that I've shared today, these 5 points. Hey, Yvonne, how are you? We were just talking about morning routines that work, 5 points. I hope you can watch it in the replay because I'm wrapping up now. But what I'm offering, Yvonne, is these 5 points are very universal. They're very general and generic. And each one of us had a specific need. Some of us have our parents that live with us and may be going out to an adult daycare, or someone may be coming in to tend to them. The list goes on and on about what specific need you have. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about it so that as you start this fall, it's a completely different start than last year. It's a completely different start than last week. You can start new now. Doesn't have to be January 1st. It doesn't have to be then. You can start new right now. So I'm going to put a link up here. If you need more specifics, if you know what, I'm not doing like I did last year. That's a smart person that can look at where they were and go, yeah, I'm not doing that again. I need something different. Let's do it. Let's talk. Okay. So Whether you're watching live or watching in the replay, share with me one of your morning routines that really works, that you love, that helps keep everybody on target. I would love to hear that, and I would love to know kind of what other things are working for people. So have a great day, have a great Wednesday, and I will talk with you later. Bye.